Second graders, we are here with some more subtraction to do with you this Tuesday, and we're going to be doing one additional thing that we haven't taught you yet, and that is how to check your work to make sure you got the right answer. So let's start off by giving you an example. They did a really easy example of a problem that does not require you to do any regrouping, just so that you can see how to check it. So let's take a look over here. We have the problem 33 minus 21. And as always with subtraction, we start with a Big Daddy at the top, 33. And then we have our little babies as our second number and then as our answer. And those are going to come into play over here in a minute, which is why we're reminding you of those terms. So just to quickly go over this really basic subtraction problem with you, you can see that they subtracted, always starting in the ones place, 3 minus 1, and they got 2. And then they went over to the tens place and subtracted 3 minus 2 to get 1 in the tens place. So their answer was 12. That was a simple subtraction problem. Here's where it gets a little trickier. When you want to check your work for a subtraction problem, it's kind of like working in reverse. So instead of starting with 33 minus 21 equals 12, you can see that these numbers are in the same order, just kind of flipped upside down. To check it, you start with your answer, okay? 12 was our answer. And then instead of subtracting, we're going to add our answer to the other little baby, which was the next number up. And to see if we get the right answer, to see if we did this original problem right, when we add these two numbers together, it should equal our Big Daddy. We should get that answer. These two numbers should be the same.
No way.
It's pretty crazy, right?
That's awesome.
Math.
Cool. Okay.
Blowing minds.
So let's see if it works.
So if I add 2 plus 1, what do you get?
3.
If I add 1 plus 2, what do I get?
3.
So I got 33 as my answer here. Is that the same as our Big Daddy over here?
That is unbelievable.
It's pretty cool.
That's like a magic trick.
It is a magic trick. It's amazing.
Wow.
I'm going to go down here,
All right.
and I'm going to try it on number 3 because I want to show you guys how you would do it if you are needing to regroup, which is our skill that we've been working on. So we're going to go through all the steps of regrouping, and then we're going to do this thing.
The magic trick.
The magic trick.
Okay.
The checking
I
our work.
love magic.
All right, so first I'm going to look at the way my problem is set up. My Big Daddy is 54 at the top, minus one of the little babies, which is 19. Ms. Marquardt, do I start in the tens place or the ones place?
Always, always start in the ones place.
Always start in the ones place. Step 1, check. Step 2 is to check if my top number or my bottom number is bigger. If my top number is bigger in the ones place, I am good to go. I can subtract. It is not going to be a hard problem. That's how it was up here. My top number was bigger, made my life easier. I have an issue though. My top number is not bigger. I have a bigger bottom number, which means I have to do something special.
You gotta borrow.
I gotta borrow. I gotta go over to Mr. Tens and ask him if I can have some of his so that he can make my life easier, okay? So I am going to go over to Mr. Tens, and he graciously said, yes, I can borrow some from him. I'm gonna cross it out, and no matter what my number is in the tens place, all I'm gonna do is drop it down 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna subtract 1 from it. So if I have 5 and I take 1 away, what am I left with?
4. Easy.
4. Very easy. So we're gonna put that in his attic, because now he's left with 4. I'm gonna go next door, and I am going to take that group of 10 that Mr. Tens gave me, and I'm going to add it to the top of my ones place. I'm gonna add it to the 4. So I'm adding a group of 10. Now that's a pretty easy addition problem. What is 10 plus 4?
Easy. It's 14. You just put the 1 in front of the 4.
Yes, it is 14. 1, 4, okay? Now I am no longer using anything that I crossed out. My new top number in the ones place is 14, which is now bigger than 9. So I am free to start subtracting. I can do 14 minus 9. When I get to higher numbers, I like to start either counting up, start at 9 and count up to 14. And I know if I have 9 in my head, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that gives me 5 left over. Okay. then I'm going to come over here to the tens place. Miss Marquardt, I have a 4 at the top and a 1 at the bottom. What is 4 minus 1?
Easy, it's 3.
It is 3.
I know that from reflex.
Okay, so here's where it can get a little tricky because I have crossed out a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I'm not going to be putting 4 and 14 in here. So when we want to check, we have to use all of our original numbers from the top. I'm going to show you what I mean by that, okay? Okay, so if you remember up here, I kind of flipped everything upside down and I added the answer plus the second number, and it should equal the Big Daddy. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start with 35, okay? And I'm going to add 35. I'm just going to go up in the problem to the next number. I'm going to add 35 to this number, 19.
Okay. So those are our 2 little babies.
Little babies.
Okay.
That should equal my original number.
The Big Daddy.
The Big Daddy, which was 54. I know it's hard to see because we've crossed out a lot of things, but if I did this correctly, it should equal 54.
Okay.
Okay. Now I get to practice another new skill we learned, which is carrying.
Oh, yeah.
When I add my ones column. So, as always, I am adding on this problem. In order to check, I'm going to start with my ones place, and I'm going to add 9 plus 5. What do I get if I add 9 plus 5?
Well, I know 10 plus 5 is 15, so 9 plus 5 is 14.
Yeah, so when I add, I know you got to start with my caret, and I have 14 here. And I have a number that's bigger than 10, that's 10 or bigger, so I'm going to have to carry. My 4 is in the ones place, and it's going to stay in the ones place. Go down into my answer in the ones place. My 1 is in the tens place, so I need to carry him over to Mr. Ten's attic because there's no room in the ones house for him. So he's going to come up here. I don't need a box in order to carry him to Mr. Ten's attic. There can be an invisible box here. As long as you put the number above the tens place, we know that we're going to add that. And now if I go over to my tens column, I add all 3 numbers together to finish my answer. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so I got 54. Is that the same as my original Big Daddy?
It is.
It is. So
I can't believe this.
yeah, it's magic. I did it correctly. So this worksheet, there's 2 more problems just like this on the front. And then on the back, I think there's 2 more.
There's a couple more
There's
problems,
a couple more.
as well as a challenge.
As well as a challenge that is optional. So if you want to do the challenge, go for it. If it feels really overwhelming and too hard, you can skip it. But just make sure that we'll really know if students watch this video, because the students who don't watch this video are only going to do the subtraction.
Oh, yeah.
And
They're
the students who
not
watch
gonna
the
know what to
video
do.
are going to check their work on every answer and add the answer plus the other little baby and see if it matches the original Big Daddy. Okay?
So good for you for watching
Yes.
this video. We're
Thank you.
proud of you. Thanks for doing the right thing.